guys, I'm Sarah. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a very different video from what I normally do. Some of you, maybe, I don't know, this was a while ago. I don't even remember how many months ago this was. I put out a community post asking you guys for questions to do a Q&A to celebrate what was, at the time, my 140th subscriber. I'm now at like 160 some subscribers, which is just crazy to me. So thank you to each and every one of you who subscribe and who even watch these videos. I'm deeply humbled and honored that you want to listen to my strange rambles about books and writing and who knows what else comes out of my mouth. But yes, I'm very thankful for all of you regardless. And I wanted to do a Q&A video, so I got some questions. I finally have them all compiled here. I'm finally getting around to it. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. And most of the time for like these types of videos, like tags and stuff, I prepare. So this is going to be a very unprepared type of video aside from like a couple of questions. So yeah, we're just gonna jump right in. The first set, I have them all written down here, and the first one is if you had to choose between saving your top fictional crush or your top favorite female character in a life or death situation, which would it be? Well, let's just start off with the easy questions, why don't we? This is a very interesting one, and I know Reese gave me this one in vengeance for a question I gave her in a Q&A. I'm very certain this is what this is. You can confirm or deny if you want, Reese. Anyways, actually this one was fairly easy for me to come up with because I'm cheating, technically. And we're just gonna, because I'm not quite sure who my top fictional crush or my top favorite female characters, I don't know, there's probably many, but I'm just gonna pick Jace and Chiron from the Ilion Chronicles because that's just easy. And technically I would save Jace. Here's my reasoning for why. You did not say in a life or death situation if there was a time limit for this, because usually in a life or death situation there is some time between like when people are dying and stuff like that. So I would save Jace because then Jace could go and save Chiron. You didn't say there was a time frame in here. I'm a writer. I work around this stuff. So that is my answer. You can go ahead and like verbally kill me in the comments if you want, Reese, but yep. That's the way I'm working around this. Anyways, okay, the next question is, what is your biggest regret with writing? Do I have a biggest regret? That's an interesting question. Do I have my biggest regret with writing? Like, technically, I'm doing this off the cuff. I have not pre-planned answers for most of these. My biggest regret. Do I have a biggest regret? Okay, I guess my biggest regret with writing would be probably similar to what I've been doing for the last 2 or 3 years, sort of, with my third book of my Creatively Chronicles series, which is basically pushing myself to write a book that isn't ready to be written at a certain time by a certain date. I would say that is literally my biggest regret, is trying to do that, because now I'm having so many issues with the third book because I have these mental blocks with it. I'm overcoming them, and I'm going to write this book. It will happen. It's just, I put so much pressure on myself to write that book in its draft form a certain way, and I killed a lot of my creativity with it, and I do not recommend that, especially in draft form. Just write it how it should be, because yeah, there's a good chance you can kill your story that way, and I pretty much did to a certain extent. The story is not dead because I am going to be writing it, and I do have an ending and everything else. It's the middle that's the issue, not the ending, but regardless. But yeah, I think that's my biggest regret, is allowing myself, the voices in my head, people around me, to push me to do something that I was not ready to do, and that this story was not ready to do. And yeah, I would definitely say that is my biggest regret, and something I am definitely trying to overcome. Okay, what's one thing you wish you could do to help people? Well, I'd definitely just like to make people feel like they can be real. Like they can be honest to goodness, their own person around me or just around anybody else. I mean, it's what I would wish I could do to help people. I guess I would just wish, I personally want people to just feel very real around me. If you feel a certain way, just say it and stuff like that. I don't want people to put up facades around me. I don't want them to feel like they need to be fake for any reason. I am a very much a heartfelt person who very much is just me all the time. Like literally, most what you're seeing on this camera is pretty much how I am a lot of the time. I mean, obviously not on like bad days and stuff. Obviously, we all have them, but I just like real honesty for myself and from others. So I never want somebody to feel like they have to be fake around me. And I would definitely just, I hope from like videos I do and stuff like that, it encourages people to be honest and real with me on the other end, or just to feel that way. So yeah, that is basically what I want to do. I just, because I feel like this world is very fake and a lot of people just put on facades for a lot of things, and I think it's killing us. That's why mental illness is such a huge issue, and like suicide rates and everything else. It's just a huge issue that people can't be who they are supposed to be, because basically society has told them, if you don't do what society wants, you're screwed. So yeah, I just definitely just want people to feel like they can be real around me. And yeah. Okay. Favorite food? Pizza. I love pizza. So that was an easy question. How big is your family? I actually have a very small family. I have my mom, my sister, my older sister, my grandma, and my aunt. Literally, that's it. That is my family. I mean, I got a bunch of animals too. I think there's a question later on. Somebody asked about pets, so I'll answer it there. Okay, favorite movie. Comment down below if you can guess what my answer is going to be. If you've been here for 2.5 seconds, you probably already know the answer. In fact, it's behind me, if you need a guess. My favorite movie is Tangled. Yeah, that is definitely one of my favorite movies. But since that's an animated movie, I'm going to go ahead and give a live action movie, and this may come as a surprise to some people. My favorite live action movie, I'm pretty sure, it's kind of hard because one's a the one series. I know there's a question later on too of more favorite books and movies and stuff like that, so I'll answer the series movie, the question later there. But for a standalone movie that is a live action, that's my favorite, it's going to be Captain America, The Winter Soldier. I love that movie. So yeah, that might come as a surprise to some people, but I adore that movie. It was the first Marvel movie I ever saw, even though I was confused out of my mind because there's a lot of things in there that were from like other previous movies and stuff like that. It was totally confusing, but I loved it anyway. So yeah, and I just love the whole message behind it, and I love Captain America. He's probably my favorite superhero. Yeah, so I just love that movie. What made me want to start a channel? Here's kind of a funny story behind that. I actually started off doing an Instagram. Yeah, I'm not currently on there right now, so don't try to look me up because I'm not there. But, yeah, I did originally have an Instagram because I was doing it for, like, basically I wanted to start doing a type of platform for eventually my writing and stuff like that. I wasn't published at the time. I had nothing like that. But I left for several reasons of Instagram. I deleted my account and everything, but I still wanted to be able to share like what I was reading and stuff like that. At the time I was watching BookTube, but I didn't really have any interaction with it and stuff. So even though I hated and still hate being in front of a camera, I decided to start a YouTube channel, which sounds kind of stupid. When I really think about it, it's like, that sounds really dumb. Like, I hate pictures of myself and stuff like that, but I've actually gotten comfortable now talking to a camera. It's still a little weird sometimes, but hey, you know, whatever. But yeah, I wanted to start it to share the books that I read and to share about my writing and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much it. What have you enjoyed most about BookTube? Being able to talk about the books that I really like and being able to promote like all these independent published books that I really enjoy. Because a lot of people don't even know about them. I've gotten so many comments, in my recent reads videos of people just saying, I've never heard of this book, I'm going to go check it out now. And I really like that because a lot of these books are really, really good. So I just want more people to know about them. So yeah, I really enjoy doing that. I also just really enjoy talking more in depth about The books I liked, even the books I disliked, and my issues with them and stuff like that. I've enjoyed the same thing, writing reviews on Goodreads too, for all these books, is just kind of like putting my thoughts down of what I feel about them. And yeah, I also really like being able to gush about books that I can't necessarily say with my family because they haven't read them or anything like that, or they just wouldn't care to gush about the same things. So yeah, I just really like it for all those different reasons. I also really enjoy connecting with other people about, in the comments and on other people's channels and stuff, about books that we both enjoy and stuff like that. I mean, I've made already several friends, because of just the books that we like and stuff like that. So yeah, it's really neat. Do you have another job besides writing? Yes, I am a farmer. So yeah. What's the best experience you've had related to being an author? Best experience, you mean from like other people or just in my own writing and stuff like that? Because I do have a couple things in anthologies, pieces published in anthologies. One's a short story called What the Darkness Fears in the Where Giants Fall anthology, and the other one's a devotional piece in the Finding God in Anime 2 devotional. My piece is called Never Alone, but I don't really have any experience with those, because most of the time in like reviews and stuff, people are talking about the other stories and things like that. But I did have somebody tell me, another author, she read my story in Where Giants Fall, and she told me she really liked it, and she thought I had a very like poetic style and stuff. I've never been told that before, so it was really eye-opening, and I just really liked that, because I never really thought of my style as kind of poetic, because it's very, my style of writing is very similar to, say, like the Ilion Chronicles. If you've read those books, it's very similar to that, but I do have, obviously, my own spin on it, and apparently it can come off as very kind of poetic sometimes. So yeah, I've just never thought of that before of my own writing, so it was really neat to hear that perspective from somebody else. Does your family and the people you know read your books? Yes, my mom and my sister technically are my alpha readers for any of my books, so I cannot tell you how many times my mom has probably read various different versions of the first book of Creature Lake Chronicles. She probably almost knows the book almost as well as I do. But yeah, but yes, my mom and my older sister, they read them when I have them, obviously. They don't read the rough draft form, they read, like, the edited version. But yes, yeah, they read them and help me kind of iron out some things, say what they like and don't like, and things like that. I also have a best friend, my writing best friend. She also has read the first two of my books in my series, and I trust her opinion and stuff, so yeah. Basically those three people. What do you like to do for fun besides reading and writing? Nothing. Yeah, I enjoy, like, watching films and stuff like that, so I guess that's something else besides reading and writing. I enjoy doing that. I also enjoy, it sounds kind of weird, but I do like watching film analysis videos on YouTube. Like, seeing people, like, mention what they like and dislike and, like, pick apart and things like that in films. I bizarrely like that. It could be because I'm a writer, so I see that as, like, learning more writing experience and stuff like that. So yeah, that's just a couple other things I do. I also just do things around the farm, though sometimes that's not very enjoyable, so I'm not quite sure if that's really the same type of thing. But yeah, I would say those two things. What are your favorite books? What are my favorite books? That is a very loaded question. Let's see, I'm just gonna say some off the top of my head. I have so many, it's not even funny. Probably the majority of the books I own are my favorite at some level. But I really like the Ilion Chronicles, pretty much, actually I don't know about that. I was gonna say all of Nadine Brandis's books, but I have not reread the Out of Time series yet, so I don't know about that one. But I really like Romanov, Fox, Wishtress, all of Selena Gonzalez's books. They're amazing. Brittany Fitcher, pretty much, I haven't read all of her books, but I'm pretty positive most of them are going to be favorites. I'm kind of looking at my bookshelf here. I also really like K.M. Shia's Magiford World, those books, An Apprentice of Death by Nikki Chapelway. I don't have that book, but I love it. Fierce Heart by Tara Grace, The Blades of Akhtar, The Dragons in Our Midst series by Brian Davis, the Angel Eyes trilogy, the Life After trilogy. Should I keep going? Pretty much everything by Michaela Bush. Love her works. I could go on if you want me to throw in some manga too. I love Yona the Dawn and Library Wars. Orange is a close third. I could go on, but hopefully, I was thinking of trying to do a favorite books video, but then I was like, at one point, but then I was like, how many years is this gonna take? So I may still do that eventually, but it's probably gonna be separated into like, who knows, series, genres, standalones. I have no clue how I'd separate it, but yeah. I love all those books. I love even more than that. But yeah, these are just the ones right off the top of my head. Okay, what are my favorite movies? Okay, like I said before, Tangled and The Winter Soldier. I also love the live action Cinderella that Disney did back in 2015. I love that movie. It's gorgeous. Just love it. I also love the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the Hobbit trilogy, the Chronicles of Narnia, the 3 movies that they did with that one. I have a bunch of other Star Wars. I like the earlier Star Wars movies, the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy. We don't talk about the sequel trilogy, but I like those too. Even if the prequel trilogy does have a few, like, really cringy romance lines. But, you know, yeah. So I cringe about those sometimes. Okay, but I still enjoy the movies overall. Let's see. What other movies do I really, really love? I love a lot of the other Marvel movies too. I'm just blanking on the titles. I like the Avengers Age of Ultron. I know that one's not as liked in the Marvel community, but I really do like that one. Captain America Civil War. The Thor movies, at least Thor and Thor the Dark World. I don't like Ragnarok. I know that's an unpopular opinion. That is a highly unpopular opinion, but I don't like that one. Let's see, I'm trying to think, what are some other movies I like? Mostly Disney princess movies, I enjoy those. Tarzan, the animated Disney Tarzan movie, that's always been my favorite. The Little Mermaid especially. I know it's one of the Disney princess movies, but that one's been a favorite of mine since I was a kid. And I still really enjoy it. There's about 1 million more. I can't think of any more off the top of my head, but yeah, those are like a great handful of some of my favorites. And what are my favorite TV shows? Okay, that's a slightly smaller list. Yona the Dawn, that is an anime, but it is like a TV series. I love that one. That's probably my favorite. That's a little hard to say. I like Star Wars Rebels and Star Wars The Clone Wars. Like both of those, except the later seasons of Clone Wars when they start getting darker and moving towards the end when Anakin becomes Darth Vader. I don't like those as much because they get too dark. I understand in the timeline it makes sense, but I just don't personally like them. But those two, I also like BBC's Merlin. That's a really good series, except for season 5 because they ruined the whole thing. Just watch up to season 4. That's all I'll say. Just don't watch season 5. It's not worth your time. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Really like that series. All 3 of those seasons are most assuredly worth your time. Trying to think, what other TV series have I seen that I really like? I know there's one for How to Train Your Dragon, which is another movie I really like. That whole franchise of the 3 of them. Anyways, there's a TV series. It's called, what's it called? It's Dragons Race to the Edge. That one. I really like that one. I don't really care for the earlier one, but because there's like 2 different ones. But Race to the Edge is really good. If you like the How to Train Your Dragons movies and you've never seen that one, check out that one. That one's actually pretty good. Yeah, that's all I can think of right now. I'm pretty sure there's something. Oh, the original Star Trek series. That one's pretty good. I don't like some of the episodes, and sometimes they do things where I'm just kind of like, this is irritating, but it was made in the 60s, so I give it a pass. But yeah, I still really enjoy that one. I don't really like anything else Star Trek, but the original series with, like, you know, Captain Kirk and stuff, I like that one. Okay, so yeah, that is just a sampling of some of my favorites of these things. I'm sure there's others that I've forgotten, but we're just doing this off the cuff, so forgetting things is part of the deal. Okay, what are your hobbies outside of reading? I don't have any. Didn't you understand that from the first question? I don't have hobbies outside of reading. Reading and writing are my life. But let's see, hobbies outside of reading. Not much. I do enjoy doing things with my horses. For the most part, sometimes I don't if they're being jerks, but you know, that's understandable. I'm also actually, do I really have any questions? I really don't have any other hobbies outside of reading. So, I do enjoy doing other things when I do them, but I just don't do that many other things besides reading, writing, doing things on the farm and stuff. It kind of takes up everything of my time. I do enjoy making videos, and actually I'm enjoying editing them too, so I guess that could be considered a hobby. So, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go? Well, but there's about like 3 places I would want to visit in the world. The way the world is, I probably never will, but, you know, in heaven I might. Ireland, I've always really wanted to go to Ireland, and I've always just been fascinated by Ireland and everything, so that one for sure. Hawaii is the next one, which sounds kind of weird when you put it next to Ireland, but I've always been fascinated with Hawaii. Do not ask me why. I do not understand it. I do blame a book series I read as a kid, Phantom Stallion, Wild Horse Island series. I love that series. It's like a favorite childhood series. That one was set totally in Hawaii. I was obsessed with it, obsessed with the whole thing, and I'm pretty sure that's where my love of Hawaii started. And the third place I'd want to go is New Zealand, and that's pretty much just because of the Lord of the Rings movies, because I can go to Middle Earth in real life. Okay, what writing project are you currently working on? Well, there's several. I'm getting back into writing, so I don't really have any hardcore, this is exactly what I'm working on. Right now, I'm trying to be open to working on multiple things at a time if my creative mood goes for it. So, the first one is obviously I'm still editing my first book of my Courageously Chronicles series, which is my young adult Christian epic fantasy series. I'm still editing that one. So that's one of the major projects. The second one would be, of course, writing the draft for the third book of that same trilogy. I haven't gone back and worked on it since a while ago. I don't remember when I stopped writing it again, but I definitely want to go back to it and just start picking away at it again, because I definitely want to write it, and yeah, I think I'm getting closer to being in a better headspace about it. And the third one is I am sort of outlining for fun a kind of a sci-fi adventure. It feels very Star Wars like series. I have no idea how long it will be. I'm just having fun with it. I've outlined what would be the first book, but beyond that, I haven't really done anything else with it. It was just a fun idea I had. I mean, like, a lot of the characters don't even have names. None of the planets have names. I mean, it's just totally a random for fun thing when I want to work on it, sort of thing. And I have about 1 million other ideas, but they're all in various stages of either this is just one sentence idea, so it's just going to sit here and marinate forever, or others where they're slightly more fleshed out, but I'm not really working on them at the time. So, yeah, that's my status of my writing. Okay. Okay. So this is the next revenge question from Celestia. Yes, I'm specifying your name for this because you specified in the note it's revenge time. Yes, I wrote that down. And that is, if you could kill any character and replace them with another, who would you kill and who would you replace them with? This is a question I posed to both Celestia and Reese. This is why I got revenge questions in return. So, I have an answer for this one, though. Yes, this is gonna come as a weird thing. This is one of the only questions I prepared for ahead of time. That is, I would kill Peter. Peter in this book, which is Ghostly Vendetta by Michelle Israel Harper. This is like a prequel to the Candace Marshall series. Pretty sure that's what the series is called. Anyways, this is a prequel to the novel, and the only novel that still exists in the series right now, which is Zombie Takeover. This is like, it's like Christian, well, it has very light faith content, but it's in there, like horror type stuff. Anyways, this, Candace has a horrible boyfriend named Peter. He's more in this book than he is in Zombie Takeover, which is why I pulled this one out. He's pretty much only in like 2 chapters in the very beginning of Zombie Takeover, and that's it. Anyways, yeah. So he is an absolute idiot. He is an absolute, I could say horrible thing. Like, I could use the most horrible words in the English language and probably other languages too. For this guy, he's just the worst. And yeah, and she doesn't quite see that. Everybody else around her sees it, but she doesn't. So I would kill off Peter and I would just replace him with Gavin from Zombie Takeover, who ends up being Candace's boyfriend. He's a much better guy, and I would just literally just introduce him sooner. That's literally what I would do. Or if I couldn't do that, I would just kill off Peter in this book, and then she would just be originally single in Zombie Takeover, and we would just start from there. So, but then again, if she wasn't still with Peter at the beginning of Zombie Takeover, she wouldn't have gotten into that situation either. So, which could have been good for her, could have not been. So, but anyways, that is my answer on that. So yes, I had an answer for that, Celestia. Yes, I'm being petty. It's in my nature. Okay. How many pets do you have? Well, I live on a farm, so we have quite a few animals. We have 8 goats, which is a lot. Yes, it is a lot dealing with 8 goats because they're all holy terrors and they all have opinions and yeah, they drive me nuts. I've since discovered, since having 8 goats, I'm probably not fully a goat person. Okay. We also have 9 chickens who currently look quite plucked and bald because they're all molting right now, which is where they lose their feathers and grow in new ones, basically. It's kind of like shedding your hair, but it's like literally going bald all at once and then regrowing your hair. It's kind of weird. At least they're not doing it in the middle of January, which is generally when they do it, and then they freeze to death, but at least they're not doing that. But anyways, we have 9 chickens. I also have a horse and a pony. They are my main pets. Blackie is my pony. I've had her for, I think, almost 18 years now. Yeah, we pretty much grew up together. So yeah, and I think Deuce, he's my horse. He's roughly around the same age, but I'm not really sure. I've had him the least amount of time, but yeah. And yeah, those are our animals. Okay. What's a random or weird skill talent you have? That's an interesting question. Well, I mean, I know a lot about farming, which, I mean, to me, doesn't feel very random or weird, but I have discovered, like, when I used to go to a Bible study group at the church we used to go to, I did discover that some of my knowledge that I just think is normal, a lot of people think is, like, fascinating or really strange. So, I mean, maybe that's a weird thing. I do know a lot about that. I also know a lot of different things because we like to make our own things and not necessarily always just buy everything from a store. So we like make our own soap and stuff like that. So I do know how to do that. Trying to think of something else I know that maybe is not normal per se. I mean, I know how to write a book. I know not everybody knows how to do that or can do that. I don't know if that's a weird skill, but is that I know some random weird information that I pick up from books and stuff like that. I don't know if that's a weird skill or not. Weird skill might, I mean, I have a really odd skill of just being able to pick out used books from places. I don't know if that's a weird skill or I've just honed it to an art now, but yeah, I can often find different things in different stores or even online and stuff like that. I don't know if that's just because I have a weird compulsive nature to go look these things up all the time or something, but I have no idea. But I don't know if that's a weird skill or not. I have no idea if any of this stuff is considered really weird. What is my hair doing? But yeah, I don't know if anyone would consider those weird. Do you guys consider some of those things weird? I mean, like, I know a lot about, I would assume probably the farming thing would be the most weird because I know a lot about, like, how to do different things with horses, chickens, goats, things like that, like how to tie up a goat so it can't get loose because they untie themselves, things like that. I don't know. So take that as you will, I guess. I don't know. What's your current favorite Bible verse and why? I don't really have a current one. Probably an ongoing one that I always have is like Psalm 23, because I don't really memorize Bible verses very well, and it's about one of the only ones that I've memorized to a great extent that I can still remember it. And also just the part of, yea, though walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. I always really like that part. I say it a lot if I'm whatever, stressed or messed up or in the head or scared or whatever. So I use that one a lot. So that's always kind of a favorite one. And there was a part, oh, I forget where it was. It was in Hosea, and it was just like, because I'm reading through the Bible with a Message version that my mom got me for Christmas a year or two ago. So I've been reading through the Bible using that one. And I remembered it was the end of I think it was like the end of like verse 12 or something in Hosea. I don't really fully remember. But it was basically said that, like, you know, it's like the basic gist was, I am God, I will not leave you because I'm not human. And I don't know, I just really liked that. It just really stood out to me. It was like, yeah, like, you know, even like humans are fickle and stuff like that. We always like seem to think that God's that fickle too, but he states specifically that I'm God, I'm not a human. I don't work the same way you do. And I don't know, I just really like that. It stood out to me as just something to not really think about, but something to just consider, of just like, oh yeah, you know, I really shouldn't be doubting God right now because he's not a human. He's just not gonna ditch me or whatever the situation is, because I'm doing something wrong, because he doesn't react the same way I do. So yeah, that would probably be kind of my answer for this right now. So sorry, it's not a little more detailed. Those were all the questions I got. Thanks so much to everybody who sent me questions, even if some of them were only in revenge. Thanks so much, you guys, for watching. Let's chat further down below in the comments. You can ask additional questions there. I'm not going to do another Q&A video just for those, but I will answer any follow-up questions or comments or whatever you want to say in the comments. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a lot of fun to do. I don't do off the cuff very well, apparently, but I will be editing a lot of this video because it is way too long, and I know I messed up the beginning anyways. I always do. Anyways, yeah, thanks so much, you guys, for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!